Killer Spiner. The more power to bear, Killer Spiner has still. He is two sides in one, built for the kill. Spinosaurus, Dark Spiner, and another Crab Killer Dome. It's his battle's brother. Spiner, they get confused as one. Dark Spiner and Killer Dome on the run. With your light, the Gylos Empire will not fall. Death to the Hellic Republic, that's our call. Show no mercy, crush the Killer Spiner. In electronic warfare, there's no finer. You make us always major, no minor. Killer Spiner. Show no mercy, crush them, Killer Spiner. In electronic warfare, there's no finer. You make us always major, no minor. Scramble that comes with your might, Killer Spiner.